Marcia, thank you. We are all a part of the human heart. We're all connected to that human heartbeat. All of us have known the beating of our birth mother's heart. Yet women who give birth are not the only kinds of moms. And they're not only women, but many who mother or nurture, teach or parent children. And maybe not only the human kind of children. I've been house sitting for one of our congregant families this weekend, taking care of their furry children. Sweet, sweet dogs, Beatrice and Bailey. Very much the children in that house. I do want us to think about mothering, about parenting, about moms, and different kinds of wow. One of my favorite artists, Sark. Any of you know Sark? Watercolors, a few people? Yeah. Just joyful poetry and pictures and art. She wrote one for Mother's Day called Just for Moms. And she called it, she said that wow, mom is wow upside down. And then she realized that that wasn't really being very fair to mom. And she realized that she still had some stuff going on with her mom. And when she found a way to work through that and forgive that, she changed it to wow is mom right side up. And so we're going to keep playing with that wow and mom. I'm sure many of you have heard it said in many different ways, from your own children and others. Sometimes it's, wow, mom, really not happy. And sometimes it's, wow, mom, when we actually do something cool that they aren't expecting. And sometimes we just have our own wow, mom. I've had one recently that my grown son was going through one of his first really difficult relationship issues, and I was thrilled that I was the one that he wanted to talk to about it. So I also discovered that I had this fierce mama bear come out that was like, oh, don't you hurt my son, don't you hurt my son. And I had to do some letting go myself, that our children, when they become adults, they are adults. They work these things out for themselves. We have to let them live their lives. And some of us help our parents also live their lives. Sometimes our roles reverse. And some of us help our parents with their death, to die well. I'm sure there are many of us sitting in this room today who have lost their moms and are sad and miss them so much on this holiday. I invite us here just for a moment to pause and think about those women who were your own mother or who mothered you. Bring their names to your mind, to your heart, to your consciousness. And then if you choose, speak them gently or out loud, that we may honor those who have gone before us. Many. We may find ways to honor our moms too, like you saw in our dancer, Jenny has her Race for the Cure. Her mother died from breast cancer, and she does this every Mother's Day. That dance that Marcia just did was in honor of her own mother and her goddaughter. I today wear my mother's pearls and this scarf that she made for her 25th wedding anniversary. So I invite you to think of that too. What are the ways that you honor those who have mothered you? Do you sew? Do you dance? Do you bake cookies? What are those ways that you honor the mothers? Anyone want to share? If I can hear it, I'll say it back. Sing. I forgot sing, yes.
How to wear a shari.
You what?
How to wear a shari.
I still didn't get it. Come, I'm sorry.
Teaching others how to wrap a shari.
Teaching others how to wrap. Sorry. Yes.
Always studying.
Always studying. Hardening. Trying to be a good person.
Finding both views.
Finding both views. Going to church. Yes. The artist that I talked about, Sark, says, the circle around us weave invisible nets of love that carry us when we're weak and sing to us when we're strong. Those nets of love help us to remember that how we live and how we forgive and what we believe weave the stories of our lives, of our human heart. It's good on this day to understand that there are many kinds of stories. In most Unitarian Universalist congregations, we have stopped calling this Mother's Day and call it Parents' Day, honoring that there are many ways to mother. But this year, our denomination asked us to call it Mama's Day, M-A-M-A-S Day, to think about all the different kinds of mamas, and especially the mamas who are not the kind pictured in the Hallmark cards, those who might be not so accepted in society, maybe trans moms or lesbian moms or teen moms, those who could use a little more help from the world at large. So we draw attention to the community, the collaboration, the context that mamahood occurs within. We are interdependent. We do have one human heart. And so we think about what systems support mamahood and make it possible for all mamas. And what makes it more difficult? And then we ask ourselves, where is our righteous anger about those systems that don't help everyone? That's why our denomination asked us to do this today. They are joining forces with a group called Strong Families. And I invite you to go on their website and look at all the different ways that we can do. Sometimes we don't know. We know that there are difficulties of other people and we don't know how to help. And this is a way to find ways to help. It's a Wow Mom organization. We do applaud the myriad women who mother children and build strong families. And we realize that not only woman-identified persons can nurture and teach and build strong families. We have right here two men, our minister and his husband, who are raising children. The last minister that I worked with also, he and his husband adopted a baby in the last year. And he posted this week that her school still sent home a card, Happy Mother's Day. It's like, do you not see that we're two dads? Why would you do that? So we have a long way to go for people to realize that it's not just moms and mothers who can mother and nurture. And we celebrate them in that broader sense of mothering and call them wow moms. And even as we celebrate, we know there are those who wanted to mother. Julianne talked about that a bit. Who wanted to be parents, and for some reason or another, it did not happen. Sometimes it was a choice, sometimes not. And those for whom they really wanted that, we know that this day also brings sadness. And I invite you to hold them in your hearts too, of all of the people who wanted that and did not have it. There are so many ways to mother, to nurture, to teach. Teaching is one of those. One person who comes to mind to me that we were going to dance, we may still for you sometime, is Ella Baker in the civil rights movement. She taught so many people how to be nonviolent, how to stand up for their rights. We haven't talked about it today, but this holiday, Mother's Day, really began with one of our Unitarian Universalist ancestors, Julia Ward Howe, that wanted to recognize that if mothers ruled the world, we wouldn't be sending our boys off to war. Wanted it to be a day of peace. There's another person who tried to honor mothers also for all that they do, all that they teach, Anna Jarvis, and she got so disgusted with how it got commercialized that she withdrew her support of it, but by then it was a holiday, and so we have the Hallmark Day. There are so many ways that we can honor those who mother on Mother's Day, all who give hope and courage by how they live and how they share the human heart. That song that Marcia danced to is from a musical called Once Upon an Island. It tells the story of a young peasant girl that helped a young aristocratic man who had been in a car accident heal, and they fell in love. But because they were in different classes in society, they couldn't come together. And the story is that she made a deal that she would give her life to make it happen, that people could be together. And so she came back as a tree, and the tree, its roots spread out so far that it broke down the gates to the hotel that only allowed certain people in. And from that opened up the whole island. We never know where our roots might go. The dance to the song, Human Heart, was originally choreographed by Marcia and by Dr. Carol Penn, both of whom are the choreographers of my dance ministry, Core of Fire. Core of Fire came to be about 7 years ago when women of a certain age and no dance experience just felt our love for dance and have now taken our dance out into so many places. what you have seen in our dancing you saw today is a lot of signing, stylized signing, and I apologize for anyone who speaks ASL. When we dance, we get to stylize it. And it came from Marcia working in a school, model secondary school for deaf people, the first to bring deaf and people who could hear, trained dancers and not dancers together. And at the same time in DC, started doing that with blind students and students of different abilities. And they came together and took their students on a trip to Senegal. And they got together, it was a 20-year anniversary last year, and they choreographed this dance, this human heart, to understand how we are all connected. One of the students, one of Marcia's students is Mervyn Prisol, did I say it right? And he is a young adult, he's deaf, he's black, and he's gay. And he has become a professional dancer and choreographer. And this trip to Senegal, he said that he didn't realize until then how related we all were, that he grew up in the projects in New Orleans and didn't realize that people all over the world had struggles like he did. And so that has become a part of his dance, of Marcia's dance, of our dance, to talk about the struggles and the world. I lift up this story of my dear friends because at that time, they didn't have their own children. Marcia never had children of her own. Carol had her son several years later. They, to me, are exemplars of how you can teach, how you can bring mamahood. They are one way. There are many ways. I'm sure many of you know people who have brought that to children, all kinds of children. I'd like to do a reading now called My Child. It's from one of my preaching mentors, Stephen Schick. Spirit of life, in the darkest seasons of our soul, we strike ourselves against life's hard surfaces to release your eternal newness. We rejoice in the birth of a child of hope. This child is as old as time and as new as the moment we live our match of resolve. On winter's dawn, the babe is born, rising in our hearts, spreading warmth on our coldest fears. A gift of time claimed from the chaos of timeless ages. A mystery dissolved into human form. Is he the living Jesus? Is she Shiva, creator of all worlds? This child of love is born each moment we choose what might yet be. Each moment we choose what yet might be, what is birth. The dance that we did, Mother, We Belong to the Earth, from, you probably recognize the words from Chief Seattle. We have danced it many places and many times, and at one congregation, one of our Jersey congregations, their whole being is about protecting the earth. They are so, that is their one social justice focus of green earth. And once when we danced it, some of the men came up to us later and told us how much it touched them and how they cried. So we decided that was a new phrase for our dance ministry, that we make men cry. We all need to do whatever we can to protect our precious Mother Earth. We all have different ways we choose to do. Some of us choose to live simply. I recently read of one of our ministers who refuses to go to any conference where he has to fly because of how much that puts out to our earth. It's quite a commitment, I think, to not travel by air. All of us can find our own ways that we can do our part to protect the earth. If we don't, at some point we will lose it. And we need to be mindful in every way that we can. I have one last reading I'd like to share with you. It is from Terry of Bonsai Arts. The arms of the trees, their hands, their very fingertips reached into the sky and grabbed my heart. Somewhere up there, we danced, the trees, God, and me. I encourage you to look for places where you can practice wow, mom, whether it's for the earth, whether it's supporting some mom in her raising of her children, or what you can do to teach and support other families who need the help. Let us all find ways to keep forgiving, to love one another, and to stand for justice for all persons, all moms, all who mother, all who nurture, here and all of earth. May it be so. Amen. Blessed be. We'd like to now to our final hymn. It's also in our teal hymnal. This is number 1051. We are.
We
remain standing for the benediction, and I invite you to reach out and touch or hold hands with someone near you. These words are called Mother Renewal. Spirit of life, mother of all my impulses to love, give me courage to leave the comfort of my birthplace and discover your sustaining power wherever I go. Let me gratefully accept this day in each moment as it opens into newness. When I grow impatient with living in my own darkness, push me out again into the unfolding uncertainty and wonder of the day. In the moment of my rebirth, I pray that I might grow to be ripe fruit on your tree of life. In the dawn of this new day, may the power of the universe flow through me as it did through you at the beginning.